All right, welcome to Two Sides, Same Couch. We are a podcast where we're looking to push past insecurities and grow in new and exciting and often uncomfortable ways, like starting a podcast for the first time. I am Myron, and this is my co-host,
Maggie.
And seeing as this is our first podcast, it's probably only people who do know us, but in case there's anyone who doesn't know us that well, this first episode will be doing some introductory kind of get to know you or get to know us questions so that you can get a better sense of who we are and what we represent and where we want to go in the future with this. So without further ado, first question is, what inspired us to start this podcast?
What inspired us to start this podcast? Well, I think that Mullen and I have always had really interesting, deep conversations. I think that you are a person that I feel like I can ask really hard questions to. And so because of that, we always just end up having these like really deep, interesting conversations that we don't always agree on, but I think we have this ability to like hear each other out, and through that process just like learn something new. I feel like you always give me a different perspective of way of looking at something. And so I think we just wanted to share that with other people. I also think this is going to grow both of us too, because a lot of this, like Mullen mentioned before, is like really uncomfortable for us. I think there's just things about both of us. We're very different, but I think we have similarities in terms of like how we feel about our own voice. I think that's something that we both struggled with, like sharing with the world for different reasons. So I think the goal for this podcast is that we would both grow ourselves, but then our perspectives, the way we see things, the conversations that we have would be able to like help other people. Because I think it helps both of us in our lives. So just being able to bring people into that space. I think we talk about things that people don't normally talk about or feel like they can talk about with other people. And like one of my favorite people always says, your sister, she's family to me too, but my mentor, I look up to her a lot, but she always says the quality of your life, and it's not her original quote, but she always says it. But the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions that you're willing to ask yourself. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. Mullen, what inspired you to start this podcast?
Yeah, so what inspired me to start this podcast? Again, very much like what you said, we often have very kind of deep, unintentionally deep conversations. I think it's kind of connected to my purpose in life, whatever that specifically is. I'm still figuring that out. I think it's connected to my purpose to speak into people's lives. Not that I have any like greater profound wisdom or credentials or whatever, but it's not about that. Like, it's just, I feel like God has given me insight or wisdom in certain areas, and if I have the ability to help people, then I also have a responsibility to help people. And I could be wrong, so there's nothing like, oh, what I'm saying is right and my my point is 100% correct. Like, you can take it or leave it. But I do think giving and putting out better perspectives, just more perspectives help people see a wider view, and yeah. So that's where I am.
Yeah, I don't think we're trying to come to answers here, but it's just to like talk about things and be comfortable with not coming to an answer. I struggle with that. Yeah. I always want the answer. I just touched it. Yeah. I always want the answer. But yeah, that's not the goal here. Just to have interesting conversations.
Well, yeah, even part of our goal is to like even just having the conversation that like people tend to avoid and stuff in life, and just opening up space so that people can even feel comfortable enough to think about like those type of things. I think that's important. But yeah.
Okay, so Mullen, how did we meet, and what was your first impression of me?
How did we meet? Okay, the first time we met, I was in a band with longtime friend and your actual ex-husband. I was in a band and it was just a rehearsal. So I think I just briefly met you. You just happened to be there and whatever. And I don't even think we actually had a conversation longer than 2 sentences until the missions trip, probably. So yeah, our band went on a missions trip to London, and that was a very unique time and place for my life specifically, and specifically like my spiritual walk with God. I was probably the furthest I was from God at that point in time in my life. So that whole experience was just kind of a whirlwind and like very pivotal for my life. But yes, so meeting you, my first impression was that you were nosy.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah,
I knew it was coming.
And I'm a very private, shy, anti-social person. So like, I kind of have a disdain for nosy people. So I wasn't the biggest fan of you right away. I'll say that. But you did win me over time. And yeah. What was your first impression?
I would like to defend myself first.
Go ahead.
Some consider it nosy. Others can consider it like genuinely curious about people.
Yes.
Which was where my intention came from. I guess you could see it as nosy, but I think I'm genuinely just interested in people. I love getting to know people. And Mullen was a hard egg to crack because, like he said, I don't know why I'm shaking my finger at you. He's shy. He's quiet. He's very reserved. Like, I think one of my goals in life is still to this day is to get you to talk more and share your opinion. And I think that was true even back then when I met you. Like, I saw this really quiet guy and I was like, I'm gonna get him. I'm going to make him start talking. I'm going to make him be my friend. I think I'm really like outgoing and friendly.
Yes,
so
yes.
I think when I see people like you, it's like a challenge. I'm going to, and I did, I got him. I won. So
yes, we are friends, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're friends. Like we mentioned, unlikely pair. But when I first met you, yes, I remember, I mean, all the things that I just said. I was not married at the time, but I was dating a guy that was in your band. And and so I was just around a lot, kind of like the girlfriend of a bandmate. And that's how I met you. And like I mentioned, I thought you were really quiet. And I remember being on the missions trip and like just asking him more things, ask him more things about his life. And I noticed with people, like when I'm trying to get to know someone, I'll start very surface level. And then I feel as though the way people answer always brings up something that can like lead to deeper conversation.
Yeah.
That's how I approach things. I guess when you're talking to someone, you could jump really deep right away, but I think it's probably a little bit shocking. But I know that I could always kind of find a way in once I dive through surface level things. So I was asking him surface level questions. He was Snapchatting family. Well, I didn't know his family at the time. He kept like sending pictures and Snapchatting people. So I guess my nosy self asked him, who are you sending that to? And he did not want to tell me. I don't think he told me.
No, I don't know.
I don't think you told me. I remember being like, oh, he's not going to tell me. But yeah, I remember those moments, but it's weird. Like, I don't remember. I think you shortly after that, like, let me in. But I don't remember that as much. Like, the beginning was more, when you were resistant, was more memorable. But then I think quickly after that, we became friends. Pretty quickly, yeah.
What makes our friendship work?
Well, I mean, I think even if we're continuing the story, from that moment of meeting each other, I think we became good friends because we're different in a lot of ways that I think help each other. Mm-hmm. So I think me being nosy, me being like, you had no choice but to get to know me because of my approach.
I was held captive.
Yeah. I think we both are just very deep people. So I think like the type of things we both like to talk about align. So I think conversation is just really normal for us. I think like, what else? I think you're someone that makes me put my guard down. I think I present very like outgoing and comfortable. But I think there is a lot of me that has a lot of guards up. And I think because of you and the way that you are, I feel like very comfortable around you. And so I think that helps me be my authentic self. I think also, and you've mentioned this before, but like how we met, I was dating someone at the time when we first met. And so I think because of that, we were able to just focus on our friendship. Like literally that's all it was. And our friendship developed as I got married, and got divorced. And so you became family to me. I've told you this before, you're like the older brother that I never had. So, and I do think it's rare, which we'll probably talk about in another podcast. So let me not get into that too much. But that's why I think our friendship works. What about you?
Yeah, I think, yeah, going back to like even the mission trip, like I said, I was in a very unique and kind of vulnerable place in my life. I don't even say like midlife crisis, but like spiritual midlife crisis, if such a thing exists. And I think having people around who could be there for me in ways I didn't know I needed at the time was just it was just what I needed. Yeah, so like what makes our friendship work? I think well, again, like even for me, like you said, I'm a very kind of, reserved person. So like I kind of do need people to like pull those parts out of me that that like are there, and like maybe not everyone might see, but like the people who are close to my life might notice. They'll reach and grab. I mean, you're like you said, I'm like a brother to you. You remind me a lot of my own sister. So it's like you're very kind of like loving in that same way, and you don't just look at people, you look in people and see what's going on the inside, and you're curious, despite the fact that I don't always like it. But yes, you are curious and you care. So I know that you're, well, I guess the term is now a safe space to where I can bring things and not feel like there's judgment or condemnation, or just like you're going to tell me how it is, but also understand how I am and how that situation or whatever it is affecting me, and not just care about like a result, but care about me.
Yes.
And I think if you don't have someone like that in your life, then you're truly missing out. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Like I feel the same way about you too. And I was reading something that talked about like the type of people we should surround ourselves with. And it is people that like want the best for us and are not going to just tell the person what they want to hear.
Right.
I think you do that in a way for me that is also validating though. So it's not, I think potentially it could lean too far of, oh, this person is always telling me I got to change or be different, or
yeah.
But I think you do a really good job of like validating who I am, but also like giving me something else to think about, to like push myself and get out of my own, I guess limitation that we all have of how we see things.
Yeah.
So I feel the same way, which is probably an indicator of why our friendship works. And
For
I
sure.
agree, it's special. It's like really important. So, okay. So next question, what something I do as a friend that you appreciate, but don't always say?
Oh man, okay, I'm reluctant to even say it, but I do.
Because that would encourage it.
That would very much encourage it.
I already know that. What is it?
I appreciate.
I have a feeling I know what you're saying. So go ahead.
I appreciate your curiosity. No, I appreciate it in the sense of, and this will tie into one of our future episodes, because I am an introvert, but I do often have dreams of being an extrovert.
Dreams.
I'm torn because like, and I imagine you don't experience this, but like, I want isolation, but at the same time, I want people to come into my isolation. And it ties a little bit into like one of my love languages, which is quality time. And like even like my family notices it. It's like the way I experience quality time with them isn't like, hey, I need everyone to be around me, and I'm gonna do this thing, and everybody watch me do this thing. Like I'll just be on the outside. Like they'll be having their own conversation. I'll just be on the outside. Maybe I'll throw a joke in or 2 cents here and there, but like I don't need it to be about me. I just want to be
in the
around.
presence.
Yeah. So like you have a way of like pulling me that I it goes against like the version of myself that I tell myself that I am, but there's a part of myself that I still yearn for or yearn to be like, and you pull towards that part of me, and like so I appreciate the the poking and prodding. Yeah.
I think I'm pushy. I'm a little pushy with you.
Oh yes. Well, even your siblings can attest to that.
I was just thinking of that. So my sister was here one time, and my sister's also really good friends with Myron. And we were all talking about something, and Myron had said something along the lines of like he didn't want to go further on a specific topic, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
But then I like pushed and I asked a question, not exactly about that specific thing that he said he didn't want to talk about, but it was like something kind of like around.
Yeah.
And my sister got mad at me because she was like, why are you doing that? He just said he didn't want to talk about that. And I think she's right. Like, I think I have to be careful because, especially with the people I'm closest to, like for my sister, for example, I can be a little pushy to the point where it's like pushing boundaries. So that's something that I've been working on with my relationship with her. But with you, it feels different. And I think we both acknowledged that in that moment. Like, I think, I don't know, I'm different with you than I am with a lot of people. And I think it's because it's like potentially my role. And I think you are good at, like, I respect you a lot too. So it's like, if ever I touch something that you didn't want to go to, you would say it.
You know me well enough to know that I have hard nose and I have soft nose.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's like that like when I was like, I'm not comfortable talking about, or I don't feel like talking about this.
I knew that was a hard no.
Well, no. Well, the first,
thing.
yeah, the first no was a. Was that a?
I can't remember.
I don't remember well enough to be like, was that a soft no or a hard no? But I was fine with your follow-up question because I knew I could just be like no again, and you would receive that and be like, okay, I'm done.
Yes.
Because like if I say no to a thing, you'll ask again. You'll probably ask again because you're just curious, but you'll ask, and if I say no again, that that's a definite no. Because like I even know from you that your ask again is more of an invitation in case I actually do want to open up, but maybe I'm just uncomfortable.
Thank you. Yes.
But I know that specifically about you.
Yeah.
So I could see from your sister's perspective how that might have, well, probably definitely looked like pushing my own personal boundary that I set. And I do think it's important to respect people's boundaries.
And I think it's different for people. So like with my sister, I know that's not how, I'm learning that that's not how it's supposed to, like, that's not how she wants things to be in her own life, right? And so for her, I'm not moving that way. I'm trying not to move that way.
Yeah.
But with you, it's different. Like, so everybody is kind of different, and there's different layers based on like what people are working on in different seasons of life or whatever. But yes, I'm pushy, but sometimes that's needed for you. So that's what you appreciate about me.
All right, and what's the other one?
So for me, what I appreciate about you.
Yes.
I have two things that came to mind. Well, number one, I think I've told you this before, so it's not something that I haven't said, but I literally never feel judged with you. Like, there's something that you do that it can be frustrating sometimes, but I think you literally, I don't know if it's that quote that you really love that I've had issues with.
See with eyes unclouded by emotion.
Yeah. See with eyes unclouded by emotions. But you like are super, you would like understand, you're very understanding of why people may do what they do. So like, I feel like anything I could tell you, you would be able to see it without judgment towards me. And I think that's super important because even when some crazy stuff was going on in my life, you were one of the first people I told because I knew like you could handle it and you wouldn't judge me. And I think you wouldn't judge the circumstance. Like you would be able to just think clearly, not be emotional, and be able to just like be there for me. And that's what I needed. And I feel that way all the time. Like literally as things happen in my life, like I feel like I can talk to you about it and I won't be judged. So I think that's like super important for everyone to be able to get to experience someone like that. It's really hard to do. Like I'm trying to think if I could do that in reverse, and it's hard. It's really hard to take out judgment.
Yeah, it is. So I realized, and I think the best depiction I've seen of what I'm able to do, and it's not even something I actually ever really thought about it until I was watching the TV series Hannibal, which I think it was on like CBS or something like that. So Hannibal Lecter and Will Graham, who's like I guess he's an FBI guy who's like investigating the crimes, trying to track down who the killers are. But him specifically, he had an ability to go into a crime scene and he would take the position of the killer and just like fully embrace himself and like ingratiate himself into what the killer would do and just saw it as what the actions are, not how like the killer felt. But he was just he was like a pure empath and didn't even think about like, the other circumstances of like, oh, is it right or wrong, like morals and all those things. He just focused on what the killer did and what the killer felt. And that's what made him such a good forensic analyst or whatever. So I said that to say that like, I kind of do have the ability to just look at people's situations that they're in and not really think about the right or wrong or I mean I'm just curious about like how people think. That's just one of the things I've always been in, like the thought process of people, how they get themselves in certain situations. It's kind of like why I like reality TV. Because like the way people get themselves in certain, and granted, some of that's fake and produced and stuff like that, but like just the way that people get themselves into situations and drama, and I find it all kind of fascinating and stuff like that. So
we're both reality TV. Well, I'm actually not a huge reality TV watcher, but I watch Love Island, and we both were really into Love Island.
Yes.
Have been. And then, okay, there's one more thing I wanted to say that I appreciate about you is that you, and I will say like all the men in your family, I can tell it's just like how you were raised, but you're so good at like, this is going to sound like, I don't know how to say it, but like, you're so good at taking care of me. Like you really are. And this is important. And I'll tell you why, because I think, I didn't grow up with a dad, my dad was, there at the beginning of my life, but not really after a certain age. And so I really didn't have that type of
father figure.
Yeah, care from a male, I guess you could say. I have a brother, but he's younger. And then, of course, I have my mom, who is amazing. But also, there were a lot of stressors in the house because she was a single mom. But yeah, like I think you are so good, and everyone in your family is so good of taking care of me. And just being there for me. I think Myron, he really has like a servant heart. And so you really do like serve and take care of everyone around you, especially the women. I've noticed that's how you guys treat Gabby too. I never have to load my car when I'm over there. They put everything in my car for me. It's just like, I think being, especially in the season of life that I'm in right now, just like a single woman, just like having the men in my life like take care of me in ways is just really important for me. So I don't know if you've heard that before. I think maybe you've heard it a little bit in a different context, but I don't think I've said it to you. Like, I really do appreciate that.
Maybe. Well, if you haven't, then I received it, and you're welcome. But yeah, it definitely goes back to the way I was raised. Yeah. Just like how my family's from Trinidad. So I don't want to say our standards are higher than Americans or anything like that, but I do feel like most immigrant families tend to have a certain level of, or at least they try to instill a certain level of discipline, chivalry, and just proper etiquette on how to deal with people and treat people around you.
I love it. I love that I can benefit from it.
All right, moving right along. What season of life are you in right now, and what are you learning or unlearning?
Myron didn't want to answer this question.
I did not. I hate these kind of questions.
Well, I kind of just mentioned it, but what season of life I'm in, I am a 33-year-old divorcee, and maneuvering that is probably the season that I'm in. I'm living by myself for the first time.
Well, you got Apollo.
I have Apollo, my dog, which I don't know what I would do without him. It wouldn't be good. It would not be good. But yes, I am really just learning what it looks like figuring out who Maggie is. I feel like I'm figuring that out for the first time. I've probably figured it out in little pieces over my life, but this is probably the deepest discovery that I'm going into figuring out who I am. Mm-hmm. I also think this season is full of a lot of healing for sure. Digging into not only my failed marriage, but also my childhood and everything that led up to where I am right now. And just stepping into my purpose and power and confidence, and just authenticity and just being me,
Yeah.
I'm such a people person, and I don't like to claim it anymore. Marcy, once again, she taught me people pleaser in recovery. Definitely a people pleaser in recovery. And I think that part of my personality is something that so many people love about me, because I'm so, you mentioned, I'm very interested in other people. I want to get to know people. And, but I think sometimes my boundaries get lost in that a little bit, and I take on too much of other people instead of holding true to who I am. But also what that means is I have to know who I am to be able to hold true to who I am. So I think that's what this season is all about, is really figuring out who I am. And it can be challenging. There's lots of ups and downs. But I heard this quote that said, and I think I told you this already, but I'm happy, I'm healing, and I'm hurting all at the same time. And I feel like all those things are kind of going on. And they probably happened for the last 2 years. So that's my season. Did I miss anything?
No.
Learning, unlearning. I mean, I kind of touched on it, on the broader side. Nothing I didn't say anything super specific, but there's a lot there.
Yeah, definitely. So for me, what season of life am I in? Gosh. I can't stand this.
I gave you time to think about it.
No, you did.
I went first.
It's not even you can give me
You just
an
don't
eternity.
like it?
I just don't. I mean,
why don't you like the question?
Well, because I don't know. I just feel like it's not even a season. It's just my whole life is just what are you doing? I don't know. I mean, I feel like there are people in their lives who know specifically what season or what what's the end goal or what's the end game, and where we're moving towards that. I don't know, and that's real. I'm definitely walking towards something, but most of my life I've felt like Abraham, go to the land I'll show you. I don't know where that land is, but we going. Where you going? Don't get me wrong. There have definitely been times where I'm tired. Let me just stop moving. I'm in a season of going. Don't know where I'm going.
Yeah.
But even doing this podcast, I think this is another step towards that. I don't have any, neither of us had any yo, we're gonna create a podcast, we're gonna go viral, and the internet's gonna blow up on it. Honestly, if more than just our friends and family watch this, we'll be shocked.
Yeah.
But there's still purpose in it. There's still design in it, and as long as keep moving. I do believe that I'll get to the place that he's trying to show me. And what am I learning? I think I'm learning to be more confident in myself. I'm learning to believe that I have more value than just what I see. Learning to learning to trust other people.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm learning. Okay, well, and I feel like I'm always unlearning, but unlearning to believe that I'm just the version of myself that I've always seen, or that version of myself that other people may have told me that I am, or that version of yourself that you see in the mirror currently. Like, that's all that you are, and that's all that you could ever be. I'm learning that that's the case. So, yes.
Which kind of connects to the season of life you're in, if you think about it, because I think God is potentially teaching you how to have like a vision. I think the way that you are is really strong because you're present. You're very like, you're not so focused on a future goal that you can't be moved.
Yeah.
I think that you're present. You're able to be obedient because you're like, all right, you're not the one to, like, you don't pick a vision, a future path. You're kind of like allowing God to show you one step at a time. So I feel like you've got that down. But now I also believe like he wants us to like set goals, move forward, like kind of have these things we're working towards. And of course he, works with us with that. But yeah, I guess that kind of goes with like how you see yourself. It's not more than just what you see right now in the mirror. You're open to how he wants to show you how to see yourself.
Yeah.
But it's also like he's showing you there's a destination, that there's something that you're growing towards and believing that exists.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making any sense.
No. That's pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. Okay. Last question. What's a memory that perfectly captures the essence of our friendship?
A memory that perfectly captures the essence of our friendship. I always go back to that second missions trip, that time when we were like in France and stuff. It was a good time because we had already kind of like really started really becoming friends then. And like, I think that was like the time that like we were really just starting to become like family, and don't get me wrong, that mission trip did have its set of drama, drama going on in the background.
Yeah.
a little stressful. But I think it was a really good time, especially when we went back to London and like we got to see the people there again. And, it was just like, it felt like a little bit of a family reunion and it was just a really good time. Yeah, that's my answer.
Okay. I like that one. I just have a memory of you sitting outside in the morning
with my apple and reading the Bible.
Staring out into the field. I was like, what is he doing? Why is he just sitting there with his apple?
Yeah.
Now I get it. But at the time I was like, what's he doing? What's a memory that perfectly captures the essence of our friendship? I mean, once again, I think we're usually always laughing, which you can see probably from watching this. And I think I love laughing.
Yeah.
It's like that expression, it's like medicine to the soul. And so I think people that I have that with, I really appreciate. And your family, you guys are just laughers. I always leave their house and I'm like, my cheeks hurt because we're just laughing the whole time. So definitely, I think that's a memory, but also like, this is more like one-sided probably. And maybe goes back to like, what do I appreciate about you? And I think, this is definitely one-sided because it was like a memory for me and moments when your friendship was so important to me. But I have like a few specific memories of like times when I was really in a very dark place and you were just there for me. And especially when I didn't feel like I was being seen in other spaces and areas of my life. And so, like, I think we even have a picture from the missions trip and you're like giving me a hug. And I think I was like crying or something emotional because of whatever happened. So yeah, I think that just really that's one-sided because that was like something that you did for me in those moments, just like really being there for me when I needed someone. It's funny that why do all of our memories have to do with the mission trip? Because another one that's really like just big in my mind right now is when you also shared your like whole life story testimony with everybody, literally on the mission trip. We were sitting outside. Like I remember exactly where I was. I think that was really just a really, and it wasn't really our friendship. It was just a moment I got to know you more and like see you and everyone. It wasn't just me. Like your story touched Lakila, like everyone sitting in that circle, you know?
Well, yeah, especially because like, again, I'm very much a reserved person and I don't, open up. I rarely talk more than 2 minutes at a time. So for me to, I mean, I was very vulnerable in that time, and like I don't want to say I didn't completely hold back because no, I don't think I held back much. I was very transparent about where I was and like how I felt, and like how low I had gotten, and like how much like I needed that time that we had there, and like how much it had really, like even just in that short window, like how much it had. Yeah, it transformed my life, gave me hope again, and like I for people who aren't used to hearing me talk, like I could see how like that could be a lot. It could be very very heavy and weighted, which wasn't necessarily my intent.
No.
but yeah.
I don't think that was the purpose though, or the point was for you to be, I don't know. This is my thought on it, but like you sharing your story, it wasn't about you worrying how it was going to hit everybody else. That moment was for you to just share your story.
Yeah.
And I think you did that. I was glad that you were just talking, just like, it wasn't like you trying to,
words.
Yeah, it wasn't you trying to like make the story palatable for others. Like, yeah, you just told your story and people definitely had reactions, but it was, I mean, it made an impact. Like I'm bringing it up here today and it was how many years ago, you know? So yeah, I think that was just a really important moment. And I think that's how we should share our stories too. Like just, it's not about how being palatable for others, because that would take away from us expressing our actual story and the truth behind it. So,
yeah.
Okay, y'all. I think that might be it for the first introductory pod.
Well, hopefully you've gotten a better sense of who we are, what nonsense we've had to deal with in life to get here. And yeah, so like moving forward, you can get a better understanding of, how our friendship works. It's how unlikely it is, but still how important it is to each of us. And yes. So I don't even know our schedule. We're still figuring this out. Still early days, but as this is our first episode, we thank you for joining us, and we hope to catch you on the next one.
See y'all.